to live.
Yes, live.
Welcome to the Ref Room.
Hockey talk for parents, players, coaches, and fans.
Text everyone you know. Facebook, chat, tweet, buzz, bling. I don't know. Just do what you have to do.
This is the Ref Room with Scott and Brad.
Come on. It's about to go down.
The Ref Room starts right now.
All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the show. That means it's Wednesday. Get your peanut butter and jelly sandwich ready to go and spend some time having lunch with us in the Ref Room as I am joined by my good friend, Brad Baumrock. Good morning, man. What's going on with you?
Good morning, Scott. How's it going? And every time you say peanut butter and jelly sandwich, I squirm a little bit.
I know.
You know me, and
the PB&J.
I just not my thing. So, but
I don't need jelly.
Anyways.
So I feel you.
Anyways, but no, every time it makes me laugh. So, but it's good. Hockey's kind of starting up a little bit.
Yeah.
I supervise some of our local teams, and
you went out and observed.
I did observe, but the one thing that I can say is I ran
from observing is the question.
Well, I got a good story for you too, so we'll get to that real quick. But
okay,
the one thing that I can tell you that I've definitely missed was the interaction with coaches. There goes your phone.
I know
it's 12:08.
I
think it's somebody that does it on purpose.
I think so, except I know who that one is. So,
no, but I got to see a bunch of coaches that I haven't seen, and just the interaction between the us was. It wasn't any different than it was. It was like falling back into a rather regular rhythm, except for everybody's like, so like, what have you been doing? Because normally we all been at the rink, but now it's like, oh, well, me and my wife painted our kitchen. And, I saw one coach, his hair is probably down to his shoulders and he's always, clean cut and shaved. He's got a big beard. And I'm like, what happened? I'm like, you losing hair up top, so you're compensating? He's like, no, he's like, I keep trying to make an appointment. And I keep forgetting to get my hair cut.
Oh, that's funny.
I'm like, okay. So anyway, so we walk into a local arena and it smells like dog secretions in the ref room. Which
ref room are we referring to? Not this one.
We're not gonna. No, definitely not this one. But
okay,
we walk in and there is a large pile of brown droppings from a dog in the referee room. I am not kidding at all. And
how is that even possible? I mean, seriously, like, how is it possible?
Yeah. So we go up front and we're like, hey, they're like, oh, that dog was here with some figure skating coach or something like that this morning. And it defecated on the ice as well.
Oh, nice.
And we had to clean it up. And I'm like, well, I said to the guy, I go, I know how you feel about us, but at least let us get dressed before we get to being made fun of. And he immediately was like, oh, they cleaned it up. But it was just a little funny story because, the referees were there since 8 a.m. And apparently they had told them like 3 times that this was in there. And it was just sitting on the floor.
Wow.
So it was interesting. So, but that's just a little story from me going back to the rink. First day back.
Don't give coaches and players any ideas here, okay? It'll be like Detroit, where they like to throw the squid out on the ice. Instead, they'll put something in the ref room for us.
I saw that where they threw the squid out on the ice at a game, at a college game.
Yeah.
And the poor girl that had to come pick it up. She looked terrified. And I skated over to her and I went, what would be great is, if you pick that thing up and swung it around your head, this crowd would go nuts. And she's like, oh, she picked it up and she like put it in a bucket. I felt bad for her, but it was amusing.
Yeah. So I
want to answer Chris.
Oh, I want to welcome our guest. Chris has something I was going to post, and I said, so hockey is back in Illinois. Is it back in Illinois? What do you think, Brad?
No. Allegedly, I was in an arena.
You can go out and observe some games.
They're not games; they're shared practices.
I meant shared practice. You can observe shared practices.
I have not done any such, though.
Yeah, no observations have been made. And yeah, we got a few people joining us, so we'll say a few people right now. William Green,
Yeah, go ahead,
Chris,
Mr.
a
Green.
lot of Facebook users. There's a lot of people on. But hey, it's a big night. Hockey is actually back with the NHL. The NHL has returned. They come back tonight. A lot of things happening. You know, the Blackhawks, the legendary Corey Crawford has officially retired. How did he end up retiring? I mean, he was going to New Jersey Devils. I thought he signed a contract with them. Or Buffalo. So what happened that he ended up retiring? I mean, did he have another issue that we don't know about? I mean, you know, I always said, you know, you're not going to get a full season out of him. Apparently, you're not going to get any kind of a season out of him now. But
yeah, you know, that's, you know, as much as I don't like Corey Crawford as a goaltender, because I particularly am always frustrated with his glove and, you know, or lack thereof at times.
yeah,
You know, it's tough to see a guy that's only 36, which, you know, he's a year younger than me, that he's retiring as a goalkeeper in the NHL. You can play much longer as a goalkeeper, and he's retiring. So there's either he doesn't have the desire to play, which, you know, if I was thinking about it the other day, reffing, and I was like so excited to be back. And I'm like, you know, one day I might just not want to do this anymore. And I'm like, not now, but, you know, I get where guys retire, especially at the NHL level, because, you know, you've made a comfortable living for yourself. You're set up. Maybe you want to go do something else in your life, or, you know, you have a young family and you want to be at home, because those guys have a rigorous travel schedule.
Yep.
So I can see where they decide to hang him up for other reasons other than actual physical ability.
The system could be different there. He may not have liked the coaches. He may not have been comfortable in the locker room. There's a lot of things that come into play. But, you know, for the professional athletes, and this goes for the CEOs of big companies and everybody else, these people are making so much money that they are set for lives. When you've got players that can come in and now buy the team, like, I can own the franchise, I don't need to play at the franchise. I mean, that is not the real world for most people. Most people, whether the work situation is good or not, they've got to go to work. And if they don't work there, they're going to have to find someplace else to work to keep food on the table. So we can't even fathom what it's like to be in that position. I mean, maybe you can, because, you know, you're Brad Baumrock, but, you know, for me, I can't imagine how that can be, that, you know, you don't like the team, I'll just buy the team. Okay. I don't need to play on the team anymore. I'll buy the team.
Or in Mario Lemieux, you know, they just, you know, owe him so much money, they give him the team.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, because that's what they did. They were like, "Why
don't you just take the team?"
Yeah, we're not making any money on this anyways. Here you go. I mean, you know, that's really turned around in Pittsburgh over the years. But, you know, that was one thing, how, you know, they did owe Mario Lemieux a lot of money, and that's how he became one of the owners. They said, "Oh, we'll give you a part of the team." I mean, it's a good deal for him now.
Sure.
You know, so, but
he could turn it around too, and he's done that. I mean, that franchise has thrived under the ownership, and they're doing very well. So good for them. A few other things I do want to talk about, since it's NHL. I mean, we got to talk about the elephant in the room. The Chicago Blackhawks, of course, are our favorites. So they gave their coach a new contract last night. So Jeremy gets a 2-year deal, with Bowman saying he really likes what he's seeing. He thinks he's grown a lot in the position. He knows the league better than he did, and he's learned from it. So Bowman is pretty positive, you know, with the outlook for the Hawks under Jeremy. I don't know. I don't know the man, but when I see him come off on TV, I think he would be a little tough to play for. So, you know,
tough attitude wise, or
I think his attitude, he's just a little different in the way he presents things. He just doesn't come off as friendly as I'd like to see him come off. And, you know, as a coach, you don't have to be friendly. You have to get players to respect you and do the job that you're assigned, which I totally understand. But, you know, growing up, I had coaches that I really loved and loved playing for. And then you'd have a season where you had a coach that came in and you're like, not feeling this. But you do what you can, you suck it up, yes, sir, and you do what they tell you, and you keep playing. You keep your position, and you hope that next year will be a better year for you if if you're not liking the coach. And that does happen. I mean, that's
Right.
the reality of things. I think nowadays when you see some of these coaches, the coaches seem to stay with the teams longer. When I was growing up, we got a different coach every year or two. So you just kind of had to suck it up for the season. I think now when you see these coaches, they're coming in here for a period of time, and you're going to see these coaches for a long time. So I think you've got to be on the same page, and there has to be a good relationship there with your coach in order to be successful and stay with the team and get the opportunity to move up and be a better player. So I think that's changed a little bit, at least from what I've seen with working as a referee, because I see the same coaches with the same teams year in and year out, which is kind of cool, I think. And then you see organizations that don't. And I think, the ones that we've seen that are very successful, they have consistency there.
Well, I think, what we're looking at is, Jeremy, I think his biggest downplay is he's young. I think he may have to put on that persona out on the bench because, he's one of the few guys too that didn't play on a starting line for one of the teams in the NHL. He's coming from a different spot. So he's got to earn those players' respect. He's got to earn the players on the other team's respect, and he's got to earn the referees' respect all at the same time of trying to win a hockey game and being almost the same age as most of the players, even though, the Hawks are starting to shift to the younger side. But, Duncan Keith, Patrick Kane, and Taves, they're all older than him.
Yeah.
So, you're walking into a big locker room with three big personalities, and you have to somehow corral that and then corral the younger players to rally behind the veterans, but have the veterans rally behind you at the same time. I think it's a diff spot.
Yeah.
And I think if we keep watching him, and I think, he did well with the team last year, and he only really he hasn't had that much time either in the NHL. So, it's one of those things, maybe that he's going to just develop some younger players because if you look at it right now, the Ice Hogs, that's where he was. And how many players came out of Rockford that played underneath his guidance. So, maybe they're going to try that at the NHL level and maybe have a different coach in 5 years or maybe keep him there. I don't know. You don't know.
Well, I want to go back to a point you just touched on, and that was the fact that, he has not played. Did he play in the NHL? And if he did, did he play for, a heartbeat or less? I think less. But my point being, so you have a guy coming into the NHL that has to learn the NHL, but he's been given that opportunity. And do you feel that a coach needs to come out of the NHL to be an NHL coach? Because that kind of relates to the whole situation with the referees. And this is the point I really want to make, because the NHL has made a move that they're trying to get guys that played like D1 hockey to come in and be referees that weren't referees. And it's like, you can skate the game, you understand the game, we'll teach you how to be an official. And instead, now we have people that have worked so hard over the years as grassroots officials that have put in the 15, 20 years to get to that level, to be that good, and have worked their way up, that deserve an opportunity to possibly work in the NHL or the NCAA or the East Coast League or, whatever, American Hockey League, whatever the case may be. But the point being, does that say that, all the coaches that have worked so hard their entire career learning and working with players and moving up from, lower levels of amateur hockey into college can't go to the NHL because they didn't play in the NHL?
No, and one thing I since we were talking about it, I pulled it up real quick, Scott. And Jeremy, he did play. He played in the island for the Islanders, but it wasn't full-fledged seasons. Like 2006, he played one game. 2005, he played 19 games. 2007, he played 16 games. 2008, he played 6.
Yeah.
Then
So he
2010, 15.
He found his calling, which is very cool. I mean, I wasn't aware that he played for the Islanders, so that's cool.
Well,
but do you have to be an NHLer to be an NHL coach?
I don't think so, but I think it helps. I think it helps that if you're from that level of hockey, I think you instantly earn credibility with the players and, everybody else that's involved, which includes the upper management, the general managers, the coaches, the owners, excuse me, not coaches, the other coaches. But, generally when a head coach comes in, they surround themselves with people that are already their friends anyways, if they can.
Right.
The other coaches, you see it in baseball a lot because there's so many coaches.
Mm-hmm.
The entire coaching staff is fired, because there's like 10 of them. And it's all guys that, they played with or that they're friends with.
It's no different with football or any other sport. They bring the people they know that they've worked with, that they can trust. I mean, it's all about somebody having your back the whole way because you're under immense pressure, I'm sure, with management, players, press, whatever. It can't be easy.
I couldn't imagine being a coach in a professional sport at all. Because number one, you have to deal with the players. Number two, you got to deal with losing. And number three, you got to deal with your bosses on top of it. And number four, I might not have a job tomorrow morning because of what happens the night before, So plus on top of it, if you go crazy, you could become an internet sensation, going nuts on the bench. Yeah. Well, I mean, look at Belichick with the phone, and that's football.
You don't even want to get me going on Belichick. I'm not a big fan. He's a winner at any cost. He's a winner. I don't even want to go there. That's a whole nother show. We'll start a whole new live stream to talk about Belichick and football someday. But
the scammers.
Yeah. Well, they're going to win at any cost. That's what's on the line. But, I find it interesting, too. When I was growing up, we did not have all these NHL players coming in as coaches with all these teams. I mean, when we look around here now, even in Chicago, we have a number of ex-NHL players that are either just coaching or they're hockey directors for these organizations, and they stick around. I mean, what a great opportunity for some of these players growing up to have people that are at that skill level that can give them the direction to get to the next level and put them in the position. And that's something we discussed with David Masiak that day that he was on the show, which was very interesting and getting positioned into the right team for the right opportunities. So, I think the players now just have a really big advantage. There's actually like a direction, kind of like USA Hockey with even with referees. I mean, you have the advanced development program, and if you do a good job in the ADP, then they get you moved up into another league, and the progression starts, and you get into the
officiating development program.
Yeah, so that you can move up the ranks if this is what you want to do, because we do have officials here in Chicago area that would like to work at those higher levels, if not the NHL. I'm sure everybody wants to go work the NHL, but the reality of it is we do have some people that will have a shot at those levels of hockey. And we have guys now that are working here that work in those levels. They don't work the NHL, but they work in the, the American Hockey League and things.
Yeah, Shane.
Yeah.
Shane was on the one day.
Absolutely. And we have a number of guys that work the Wolves games. I mean, we have a handful of them, and which is pretty cool. And those are guys that you can skate just a regular old good, Bantam Major game with someday. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, the American League's going to start up again too, but it's since we're talking about this, Scott, and we were tooling around beforehand, it's going to be interesting because we talked about it in the World Juniors with no fans at the stadium, and I looked at it today to see if I could buy Lightning tickets against the Hawks, and I don't see any tickets. I looked in St. Louis. Don't see any tickets. Where else did we look? We looked at like two other places because I was like, let's keep trying.
Of the states that would have fewer restrictions, basically.
That's what
we
I couldn't find anything.
So I'm sure it's an NHL thing that they're not going to allow people in the building at this point in time. So the big question is, Hawks play the Lightning tonight, and that means it would normally be Raise the Banner night in Florida. So I'm wondering if they will. I'm sure they will do some sort of TV ceremony. I would think they'll raise the banner just because they do that. But I would think they'd want to have something like that when the fans return, that they would have a banner raising ceremony for the team and for the players and for the fans, because they can really appreciate it and enjoy the moment. Think that'll happen, or do you think they'll put it up tonight and that's it? One time and one time?
Okay. But so I'm looking at it right now because I had it pulled up earlier and we got lost track on time.
Yep.
And 16 hours ago, they are going to raise the banner tonight, but with less than 4,000 people in the stadium.
Oh, so they are going to have some people there. Oh.
Yep.
Okay, so they are letting people into some of these buildings. I know they won't be doing it in Chicago, but when you were on looking for tickets, obviously there was nothing
I couldn't
available.
find
so
any.
Either it was sold out. We just assumed that no information meant no tickets.
It could be that maybe they made an exception and it's, family, friends, stuff like that, where they're not actually selling the tickets. They're giving them away, season ticket holders, something like that. Yeah. I mean, the bad part is there's so much information out there. We don't want to bog anybody down, but everything changes every single day. And
yeah,
I could sit here till midnight tonight reading stuff, and we're still not going to have all the answers and still be pulling stuff up while we're sitting here.
Well, basketball is already in trouble. That was on the news this morning that they've already got, problems with teams and that they're having to cancel games and they're, sending messages out, changing policies and procedures for the players because of that. And I know they have had some people in the stands. Is that correct or not?
I don't know. I'm not.
Or are they in a bubble?
I'm not a basketball fan.
I don't follow basketball, but it happened to be on the news this morning, so I happened to catch some of it, and it's pertinent to what we're talking about. So I just thought I'd throw that out there. So if you got people in the building, hockey had no problems when they worked out of the bubble situation or the bubble status. Will they end up having to return to that, or with people being in the building in an enclosed building, is that going to change things? I don't think it'll change it much, but
I don't think so. Well, from what I read, the NHL, they didn't want to do a bubble again. They don't want to have the players isolated from their families, basically, when you really come down to think about it.
Yeah.
In their own homes. I mean, it's not healthy to be stuck in a hotel for 17 hours and then leave to go play a hockey game. And, so it sounds like they're going to move forward, but they're going to move forward kind of like the NFL. And if you can put a team out on the ice, you're going to put a team out on the ice. If you can't, guess what? We'll play a different day.
Yeah.
That's what the NFL did. And it worked out well. I mean, there was 3 Monday night football games because one of the games had to be postponed. Now the one team had to play like Thursday and then Monday again, but is it terrible? Well, they're still getting to play. So we still have the entertainment. And, even with football, the Browns won their playoff game. They weren't allowed to practice together and they had no head coach, and their one offensive lineman was missing, all because of
this is the key.
Positive.
They finally won a game. They finally won a playoff game after 25 years or something. I don't know how long has it been.
It was a long time, but
it's been a while.
Yeah.
Well,
so but I think it's a reality. I think now, if you're not feeling well, you don't show up.
Yeah.
And that's it. The worst part is too, I did see something about the NBA yesterday. Some player, I don't even remember his name. There's a viral internet video of him at a birthday party. No mask. And that's part of the NBA's protocol that if you're at an event, you have to be wearing a mask. So now they're investigating him, which he's not going to play.
I think now they only allow them to be in a gathering of 15 people, if I'm not mistaken, is what I heard on the news this morning. And they showed 2 of the star players talking to each other, like face to face, like right here after the game or before probably after the game, no mask on, nothing. And, they called it shoulder to shoulder. It's like we're standing here talking, but they called it shoulder to shoulder in the news. They don't sensationalize things though. So, it is what it is, but that, it's going to happen. Hopefully if they're on the same floor together, playing each other, what's the difference if you stand there and talk shoulder to shoulder after the game, after you've been out there the whole game, body on body, basically. And now you're going to have a conversation. So this is a problem. I mean,
yeah, basketball, they defend that way. They're on top of each other.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how the game is set up. So
it's the way the game is played. And and they're not covered. Okay. Their arms are not covered. Their legs are not covered. You are literally body to body. You are shoulder to shoulder. A conversation is not shoulder to shoulder when I'm standing here facing you having a conversation. So, hockey from that standpoint is in a much better situation because the players are covered. basically from head to toe. I mean, okay, yeah, they're exposed from here to the neck,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it. Everything else is covered. So when you are against one of the other players, you're not like rubbing up on their sweat or whatever the case. Yeah.
No,
But anyway,
no, you're right.
Hawks got some other situations. Obviously, Taves is out. They lose Kirby Doc.
Mm-hmm.
And now I guess Nylander's out as well. So they've got some challenges ahead. Now, I saw a story the other night on the news that there possibility that they could be moving Kane. And Kane to Buffalo is what was talked about as a possibility since he grew up there. Thoughts on that? I mean, is it time that they are going to have to break the players up and finally
I don't know
go
what
in
they're
a
going to do.
different direction?
I don't know, and you know what? It's above my pay grade to even speculate because
Yeah.
they're stuck. Like we got all these players hurt, and it happens. Now what do we do?
Yeah.
I really don't know. I'm not a finance guy either, so I know they had salary cap issues, so bad that the one season they had to play without a forward, and Patrick Kane had to double shift because they were so up against the salary cap they couldn't bring anybody up from the minors because somebody was hurt. I think Shaw got hurt the night before or whatever. So
Shaw's
I don't know
back,
what.
too. Shaw's
Right,
back.
I saw. He can headbutt another puck into the net, and
There you go.
I can have 80 people text me and go, "Is that a good goal?"
And you guys know the answer. Just in case you don't know the answer, what's the answer, Brad?
No, you can't
Exactly.
headbutt the puck into the net.
Has to be
I mean,
projected with the stick.
When I saw that, I rolled my eyes because I'm like, why did he even? All he had to do was put his hand up, and he could have caught it and dropped it and shot it in. Like I didn't understand the play at all, but I think it was just reactionary.
Well, we always go back to talking to coaches on this show and giving them suggestions for things that they need to teach their players. And I think last week we talked about you need to teach your players how to take a face-off, like have a direction or whatever. The other thing you need to teach your players is how to handle a puck that's in the air. You still see guys with the stick up here like, the guy's firing it out of the zone. Oh, I'll just knock it down from here. It's like, what are you doing? All you had to do was put your hand out and the puck comes right down to you. So it would be nice to see coaches teaching players what to do when the puck is up in the air and how to play that, because they would probably get better scoring opportunities and get more goals and win more games.
I remember, I think I was a squirt or a peewee, one of those, and we had an entire practice. And the practice was dedicated to catching the puck, shot blocking, and something crazy, something else like line changes or something like that to get it on and off the bench. I think it was squirts, and they're like, we're no longer going to use the doors. You can come in the door, but you're getting over the boards.
Yeah.
So, and it was just, I have no idea. That's why he planned it that way. I don't know if we were that horrible at those three things, but I remember it.
No, it's stuff that players need to learn. And, the other thing coaches could teach their players is how to sit on the bench, why they have a bench and how to sit on it and look like a disciplined team out there. You even see that with high school teams, that you could see some of the better teams in the state, the players sit on the bench. They run the bench like, it's organized. It's, everybody is paying attention. They do it from the bench. They're not with their sticks and their hands all hanging over the boards every which way, trying to watch the game like it just looks like a disaster back there. But I'm a fan of, like watching the players. They sit on the bench. That's the way you do it.
The thing I'll say to you, though, is if you're standing and hanging over and all that, did you skate that hard before you got back to that bench?
Apparently not.
Because I don't know about you, but, it was a long time ago, but I remember I was tired enough. Yeah. I wanted to sit on the bench. There was no way I was going to stand up because, after 40 seconds of battling with somebody in a corner, you're trying to get off the ice, and it's hard to get off the ice. The last thing I want to do is stand there, but that's just the point I would make to a player. If you're getting off the ice and you're not tired,
then you're
maybe you didn't skate that hard. Just putting it out there.
It's just a pet peeve. I mean, I don't know how you guys feel about it. Give us a 1 in the comments if you'd like to see the players sitting on the bench. A 1 in the comments, and give us a 2 if you think, who cares? Let them stand up. Let them hang over the boards. let them take your eye out with one of their sticks when you're trying to line the blue line. You guys are laughing, but I mean, how many times do you line a game and you're fighting with the player on the bench over the stick that just about took your eye out when you turned, or, you know, somebody comes in with a play and you're going to have to bail out and there's nowhere to go because you got sticks in the bench coming out. So, yeah, I see it. Brett has given us a 1. He agrees. So he thinks we should put those players on the bench. I agree with you too.
Well,
a lot of people checking in. Hey, Rachel, and that's your wife checking in. We got a viewer.
Nah, I think it's one of my kids who's gonna get in trouble.
He's not doing his homeschooling. He's watching the ref room.
He's at 12:34, so they're technically
Mark
done.
Gives
they get done at 12:30.
So I think all the officials are in agreement that they'd like to see the players sitting on the bench. That seems to be the consensus.
You know, if you watch TV, you know, if you ever watch, you know, like the live barns or whatever, like you said, though, the real disciplined teams, they are sitting on the bench. And from a fan point, it actually looks like they're in control, even though the guy next to him, they could be playing just as good and just be just in control. It's just an appearance thing.
Absolutely.
It looks, see, Mr. Green gets professional appearance by the players, professional appearance by the coaches. That's a good point. It's exactly kind of what I'm going with here. It's a perception thing. I don't
agree
think
with you, Mr. Green.
I don't think
100%.
running your bench that way probably is that big of an advantage. But I think when the coaches work their players hard and the players work hard for them, naturally they sit down. And I think that has to do with a lot of it. But I am with you. I hate when the stick's hanging over the boards. You know, I've run into it
like
before.
Anybody's in control. You know, like the team doesn't look like it has any discipline or any control. There's no organization. And that starts at the top. Just like when you see coaches that are a little more out of control, tends to be the players are kind of out of control. If you have a coach that's well disciplined and he's respectful, and I got to say, I ran across a coach the other day. I'd really like to call him out because he was awesome. I don't do that very often, but he was awesome. He was in a couple of tough situations in a game that I observed, that I was watching.
Mm-hmm. Allegedly.
And, you know, what a professional demeanor. Like, awesome. You know, you could have a conversation, and like, he was very reasonable with everything. I mean, like kudos to this guy. And I saw his hockey director after that because, you know, I was observing, and, you know, I called him out to the hockey director and told him, you know, what an awesome guy. And, you know, I had a lot of respect for him. I thought that was very cool because that's not something you usually see when you have coaches that are very composed in tough situations. So kudos to them. And, you know, I wish I could tell you which organization it was, but it's one that's been improving a lot over the last couple of years. I've seen them go from not being great to being really, really solid in every division.
Well, you know,
it comes down to having really good coaches. So it makes
it's an excellent, you brought up an excellent point, Scott. We're, as officials too, you know, we feel sometimes that, you know, we see something that's really good and there's nothing we can do about it. You know, nowadays with the internet, you can Google the club, you can find the hockey director's email, you can shoot him an email, just a personal thank you, you know, and state, you know, the coach did this, you know, I really appreciate it. Sincerely, you know, Brad Baumrick or Scott Sills or whatever, you know, that's going to get to that coach and that's going to tell them that they're doing something right. Now, I'm not saying you got to do this like ever or a million times. There are sometimes I'll tell you, I had a guy that I was reffing with, and he dislocated his patella, his kneecap during the game.
Ouch.
Player hit him. You know, he's on the ice. Team from Canada, I'm in front of their bench. The second it happened, he was going down, I started skating across the ice because I knew he was hurt no matter what. And there was an assistant coach right behind me that had jumped over the boards, was running over to him. And one of the moms came out and took her fur coat and covered him while he was on the ice and all that. Nice. And they're a team from Canada. And I went and I literally took my G machine and I Googled their club and I found their hockey director and I emailed him. And I said, hey, you know, thanks a lot. So did the guy that was on the ice. You know, we really appreciate that. You know, it was above and beyond. So you don't have to do it all the time. But if you find that, and let those people know, because they can definitely have a good influence on that good behavior. That good behavior is what we want. We can help that out too. We don't always have to be, the bad guys where we're only punishing bad behavior with bench minors. You can reward it too.
Point.
It goes a long way.
I think that's a great point. And, I didn't really think to email him, but I saw the hockey director there and I said something, and I just felt it was the right thing to do, because I couldn't give that coach more credit in being in a tough, competitive practice session. And, here he is, and just maintaining his calm, cool demeanor and being very professional. And I thought that was very cool, because we usually hear the horror stories, as well as, players and fans. They hear the same thing. You see the sensationalism. So you do have great stories out there, and there's some great people that we have in our industry, in the hockey community, that give back. I mean, reffing guys, I'm sorry, nobody's getting rich being a referee in Illinois. This is a give back to the game that we love. And we all participate in charity events for hockey and different things that, just go a long way. And it's just because we love the sport, and the sport has given us a lot over the years. At least it has for me. I mean, that's why I love this game so much. And, switching over to the quote unquote, the dark side, becoming a referee, has given me even more opportunities to be in a position to give back in certain situations. So I really appreciate that. So to all you guys, and, there's a couple people that really work hard with the charities. So, Jack Razalowski is big on that, Steve Drews, and a number of others. So I don't want to just limit it to those guys, but they do put in a lot of effort. Yeah, exactly. And if you didn't see the show that we did before, I think it was our Thanksgiving show that we did, guys. It's up online, and you can check that out, because we had a number of different guests on, all related to the charities that hockey is involved with. No, we certainly didn't get all of them in there, but we got quite a few of them. We did. I mean, it was a busy show, and it was a lot of fun doing it. So if you haven't seen that, please check it out. It's up online on YouTube or on Facebook. And you know what, Brad, we could probably post the link in the ref room later on today, so that you guys could go back and check that out if you want to check back in the ref room. Which reminds me, if you guys have not subscribed to the channel, we would appreciate you guys coming in and doing that, because you can start by giving us the like. I forgot to go back and change these figures, Brad, so you got cut out of that. Sorry, buddy. But anyway, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and hit the notifications buttons, because we do this every Wednesday at noon. And that brings us to some of the things that we wanted to talk about today. And while we're on the subject...
Scott, before you get going, if you look in the comments over there, there's a question that actually pertains to kind of what we wanted to talk about.
Is it the pond hockey, or is it which one? Okay,
yep,
I'll bring that up right now so everybody can see this. So yesterday at pond hockey, Team A has a penalty, and at the same time, Team A is given a penalty shot for Team B throwing a stick on a breakaway. What's the correct procedure? All happened at once. Onces.
All right. Yeah.
Hope this makes sense.
It makes sense. I think, though, what the question is referring to, delayed penalty coming up, okay, and you got a penalty shot that's going to be happening. Well, you're still going to allow that penalty shot. So they can either take the penalty shot or the optional minor.
Right.
So what'll happen is if they can take the shot and the guy serves his penalty for the Team A, or you decide to go with where it would be, 5-on-4, you don't take the penalty shot, and it would be 5-on-5 still. So I get it. It's kind of interesting because you do have the penalty shot option in there. So just remember, it's an option. It's,
right.
They don't have to go with it. So
exactly.
If they decide to take the shot, then they play 5-on-4.
And is there ever a time that they do have to take the penalty shot? No, they can always take the minor.
Well, it's except for in a major. So if you have a guy skating down the ice and he's high sticked on a breakaway, and it's a major penalty, they get the shot and the 5 minutes.
And the 5 minutes, that's correct. Yeah, remember that. That's the big one. So let's say you have a guy that's got the breakaway and somebody two-hands him from behind pretty hard in the back of the leg. He's getting both. He's getting the 5 and getting the penalty shot as well.
Mm-hmm.
And if he can't take the penalty shot because he's injured, then who takes the penalty shot, Brad?
A replacement player.
Exactly.
I mean, that's common
That was a
sense,
tough
Scott.
one, okay. Hey, you're a level 4. I don't want to hit you with all the tough questions at once,
But anyway, so because we were going to talk about penalty shots.
We were going to talk about the procedure for penalty shots, and because during the observation week, while I was out observing scrimmages, I saw a penalty shot situation. And I want to go over what each person is responsible for doing and how it should go down, because you may not have called one of these in approximately 9 or 10 months since we've been on lockdown here. But, if you are calling a penalty shot, we've got a couple things we need to do, okay? First of all, let's run down the criteria for a penalty shot, okay? All you guys in the comments, I'd like to ask you to put in there what are
first off.
How
many are there?
How many of them are there? Put a number into the comments section. How many things are there that equal the penalty shot? Okay, for the criteria, there is a specific number that goes with that, and I'll look for you guys to put that in the comments section, please.
We'll give
you a second. I know a lot of you guys know this. I hope all you guys know it. Not even a lot of you. I hope all of you know it. I'm still waiting. I don't see anything in the comments section yet. You guys are all Googling. Don't be Googling.
Don't worry. Brett's coming. He's just he's not paying attention right now because I know he knows.
I know he knows. I don't see anything coming in the comments section. What's up with that?
Maybe it's broken.
I doubt it. We see some others. Would you signal for a penalty shot? Michael says. That was the question.
You follow
for
the
Michael.
same procedure you would.
Yeah. Matter of fact, talking about signals, there's one thing, and I'm going to sidetrack us here, but there's something that we in Illinois I see done incorrectly all the time, and that is when you give a 2 and 10 penalty, which is for our tougher penalties that we give out. So that would be for, charging, head contact, check from behind, et cetera, et cetera. But
boarding,
boarding guys, when you give, or guys and girls, okay, Mason is correct. We finally see an answer come through here, and it's 5.
Mm-hmm.
And I know he knows that. I know he didn't have to go to Google to get that number. So Mason works like really high level stuff, so I know he knows that. But yes, the answer is 5. So the sidetrack here is, while we're talking about the signals, when you go up and give your, if you're going to give your boarding signal, you do not need to give the misconduct signal with that.
Correct.
I see a lot of officials come in and go charging, and then they give the misconduct signal. It is already implied that that penalty comes with the misconduct. If you were going to give the misconduct penalty, it's because you've given an additional misconduct, which means that person is going home. That is the only time that you need to give that signal. USA Hockey, okay? So it is implied already when you call head contact that you do not need to give that misconduct signal. That is 2 and 10 automatically. So one signal that you don't need to give, but I see it done all the time, and that is technically not the correct thing to do. So let's see. We got some other answers coming in. So we had Mason with 5. And
Shademan jumped ahead because he covered the covering the puck in the crease already.
But not always. Puck covered by player in the crease.
Yep.
That is true. So we are talking more about the breakaway penalty shot.
Fouled from behind.
Fouled from behind.
Yep.
Okay. So let's go over the 5. Do you guys want to put the 5, since you've already Googled it and you're seeing the answers, do you want to put the 5 in the comments section for us?
And if anyone's having a problem finding it, it is on page 61 of the basic manual for USA Hockey.
There you go. And so do you want, we know the 5, but do you want to just read them so that they're actually word for word versus us just giving you an interpretation?
I mean, I can do that. I mean, I have it pulled up.
Okay.
I want to mention, though, it's funny because, as I'm rereading this manual, because I haven't, and it's been quite a few years, they've reworded some stuff in here.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that they put in here.
One of the go ahead.
Well, they pointed out that, I never thought of it this way, but it makes perfect sense. The way that the criteria is listed is the order of events which things happen. And they actually pointed out. So the first part is, so as an official, you need to be checking these off in this order.
Right.
Okay. So
were they
number one, the player,
beyond the defensive line?
The first part is the player must be in possession and control of the puck. The key word is control. So if they shoot it slightly ahead in a controlled manner in order to skate faster, they're still in considered possession of the puck and control of the puck. Okay. Number 2 is player must be beyond his or her defending blue line. So if you don't have the puck and beyond the blue line, you don't go any further, right?
Right.
There is no opponent present between the player and the opposing goalkeeper. Okay, keep going. The player must be fouled directly from behind or diagonally from behind.
Well, they don't say diagonally. They say peripheral.
It says, this is why I looked it up. Diagonally from behind, and then in parentheses, beyond his peripheral vision. Okay. An opponent who has an angle on a breakaway player and commits a foul from the side should be penalized, but no penalty shot shall be awarded. So that's why I pulled it up, because it's worded very well in here. It describes everything. So that's the best way. Number 5, the player must have been deprived of reasonable scoring opportunity. A player who still has a reasonable scoring opportunity, even though fouled from behind, should not be awarded a penalty shot.
That doesn't mean you can't call the slash or the hook or the hold or the trip. It just means you won't be giving him a penalty shot instead.
And it says this, of course, it should not, or this, of course, is somewhat subjective. The key to that must be asked, what effect did the infraction have on the play? So as you read it, it's wordy, but it's good. It's got a good definition in there. The biggest thing is a reasonable scoring opportunity. Right. Okay, but what's a reasonable scoring opportunity? And everybody always sits there and they debate it. Okay, what's a penalty shot intended to do? It's intended to replace a lost scoring opportunity that would have been had if not the player been fouled directly from behind. Right. So if you could say, wow, they still got a good chance off that, so they still had their opportunity, you probably don't need a penalty shot. If they're deprived that opportunity, you're going to award a penalty shot. You're rewarding them for the work that they did, and they were deprived it by an illegal act, and a cowardly one too, from behind. So, but and there's a couple thought process on that from the players as well.
Hey, there's no cowardness when you got to chop the guy. Okay, you're not being a coward. You're doing what you got to do to defend.
Right. Well, the one thing is too with players and stuff and coaches. If you look at it, the goalie has the advantage on a penalty shot because it's just come in one shot and it's over. Yeah. That guy on that breakaway, even though he's on a breakaway, his own teammate could be 10 feet behind the guy that fouls him, and they can still score on a rebound. Right. So it's kind of, do you take them down and let them try it? Or, I don't think players think about that. I think they just do it. But, it's one of those things that you can debate always. But that's the biggest thing. And
I will tell you, I had one of the guys that we've had on the show, Steve Patafi, who was a very, very high-level referee. He said, don't be afraid to call the penalty shot, guys, if it's deserved. A lot of guys are hesitant to call that penalty shot. But the reality of it is, it's almost a better call to make the penalty shot call than the penalty, because teams would rather not be down. If it's a tight game, they don't want to be down for 2 minutes. That's a time that they can't get anything done. They can't get a scoring opportunity. They don't want to be down. They'd rather take that chance with the penalty shot because the goalie's probably got a 60 to 70% chance. And depending, remember the penalty shot goes to the player that was fouled. That doesn't mean that's your best player that got fouled that had the breakaway. It could have been the guy that didn't skate back from the penalty box after he came out and he got rewarded with a loose puck in the neutral zone. And now he's the one that's going to have to shoot in the penalty shot situation. So,
and
of course,
we'll point out,
of course, the team can deny and take the penalty. Meaning like if I got fouled from behind, my coach has the opportunity to say, no, I'm going to take the penalty instead of the penalty shot because he knows there's no way I'm going to ever score that goal. I might as well take the 2 minutes, but that's the options that they have.
Right.
But again, it's such a momentum changer that the point that Steve had made when he taught us this at one of the seminars, so it's official. But, it makes a good point. I mean, you're really, and the other thing he said, like, don't run over, like the coach is going to be wanting to talk to you, like, come over here, I want to talk to you. Don't even have that discussion. Tell him, I'll come over after the shot. Because guess what? Probably a 70% chance the goalie's going to make the save, and at that point, the coach won't have anything to talk to you about.
Yeah.
He's like,
he'll have forgotten already.
Nah, we're all good. I don't need to talk to you. Go away. But so don't go over there and get into a big discussion before the shot. Like, get the shot.
It's a perception issue because because Steve explained this a little, but if you're going to call a penalty shot and you don't award it right away and you go skate over and talk to the one coach and then call a penalty shot, that kind of looks like they influenced your call. Yeah. So, assess your penalty shot, let it happen, then go talk to them if they want to talk afterwards. Because again, too, you're right. 70%, they're going to stop it. They're not going to care anymore anyways. And the team that got the shots already happy as a clam. And we'll point out, just to make sure that we don't get caught here. If a player covers the puck in the crease, yes, it's a penalty shot.
Yes.
Okay. We were going to get to that at the end.
Good point. Yep.
And the next thing is it's one of the players that's on the ice at the time of that infraction that's eligible to shoot. So if you have somebody cover it in the crease, little mental note, need to get the 5 players that were out on the ice.
Yep.
Before they change lines. So, if you're wearing your your pen, just hurry up and jot the 5 numbers on your hand.
Yep.
And as if you're a Lions that day, it's great because the referee could have 5 other things going on.
Yep.
And then you come up, hey, these guys can shoot. Because if I'm a coach, I'm pulling my guys off into the bench as fast as I can.
Yep.
And you come over, I'm throwing Johnny, who's the best player out there.
That's right.
And that's just
good teamwork
smart
on our part, guys. We're a team out there. You need to work as a team. So, help your referees out where you can. If you're doing college and, there's a situation that, on an icing where you can't have that line change. We don't have that in USA hockey, but it does happen in, the college events. Then, help out. Help out where you can. Usually the refs are really good and they know, and they go towards the bench that they're taking care of at that point. One of them will anyway, to, assure that change is not made. But in this situation, same thing, when you're going to have too many men on the ice penalties. If you see that you've got the 7, 8, 9 skaters out there and, the referee has put his hand up for that, then, take note of who was on the ice at the time, because remember that penalty has to be served by one of those players that's on the ice.
Right. Right.
Because at the time of the infraction.
Well, imagine you're skating for 3 minutes with your arm up for too many men. Well, too many players.
Yeah.
You're 3 minutes. They're going to probably change by then.
Line change, maybe 2 line changes, maybe more.
I mean, so you gotta remember, and the college teams do it the best with the icing, and they try to dump players over the boards, and there's 50 guys coming out on the ice, and you're like, get
like
12 and 2 back
drill.
here.
Put everybody on the ice real fast and right back off the ice, and then he was on the ice. He can go serve that penalty.
Yeah. So
it does happen.
Just try to keep up with it. But the penalty shots is it's a good one. But remember, if they cover it, that's the procedure. Remember, the crease extends to the crossbar, which will cover that. That was in a playoff game a couple years ago in the NHL. I think it was the Canadians. Puck ended up on the goalie's back, and defenseman took his hand and right on top of his back. Well, they didn't have a procedure for that.
But is his back above the crossbar is the question.
Nope. He's laying on the ice.
He's laying on the ice.
The puck is in the crease, but it's on top of the goaltender's back. And the defenseman covered it.
So it's penalty.
So they hit the whistle,
right?
They got together and they said, all right, let's talk about this. We know it's in the crease, right? Okay. Well, but it's on the goalie's back. Yeah, but the crease goes to the crossbar.
Right.
They had their answer. They had a penalty shot, but it was something that wasn't in the manual. I mean, you know, the NHL manual at the time, of course, they added it. And it's amazing about sports because hockey's been played for 100 years and there's still things that are baffling that happen. And it's like, how did this not happen before?
Well, let me throw one out at you. And let's say you have the goalie is still in net and maybe he's off to the side and the defenseman is back there and a puck comes and, you know, he just reaches out, catches it to put it down. If he's in the crease, has he caught the puck? Is that a penalty shot?
Now you tell me, Scott.
I'm asking you.
No. Today you can answer this one.
Well, if you're covering the puck inside the crease, you're catching the puck inside the crease, but you're not covering the puck at that point, are you? Let's ask the authorities. Mason, are you still out there, buddy? Brett? What happens in that situation? So we have a player that's standing in the crease. A shot comes or a puck comes his way and he catches it while he's in the crease to put down to continue. And this could also happen. Let's say you have a substitute. You don't have a goalie. So you've got a defenseman back there playing goal. Catches the puck, penalty shot or not if he's standing in the crease when he catches it to release it down to move the puck forward. You know, puck's up in the air.
His feet
are in the crease. Typical hockey play, puck's up in the air, players in the crease. I'm just catching it to put it down to my stick so I can, do something with it. Is that a penalty shot? All right. While we're waiting for you guys to answer that online, let's just look at a few of the things that we have. And then we want to get to the procedure, how you guys are supposed to actually handle the penalty shot, from the logistics standpoint. Yeah, well, let me put the comments up real fast, and then we'll do that.
Okay. All right.
That'll give everybody a chance to fill out their answer for the question about the puck getting caught in the crease. Okay. So that's going to be that'll be our order. We have our procedure. All right. So it says, I know you are going to say 5, but not always because the puck covered player in the crease. Yep. Thank you for that. That is absolutely correct. All right. Next one comes from Chris. Giving that implied misconduct signal is mostly necessary. Scorekeepers don't always know, and for whatever reason, coaches don't know either. It's just better to give both. Well, coaches should know better because they should know that if they're getting a head contact penalty and you're going to be sending somebody over there if they don't send somebody over to the box to let them know anyway. So, from a technical standpoint, the scorekeepers should know it, which we know that they don't, but they should know it. Then you just need to verbalize it to them. Same thing with coaches. If the coach doesn't know that there's a 10-minute misconduct assessed with the head contact penalty, that's pretty sad. But it does happen. So, just go over and talk to them because you're still going to have to find somebody to put in the box.
Sometimes they claim they don't know.
Yeah, they claim.
Allegedly. They don't know.
All right. Mason said the player must be beyond his or... Yep, that's correct. Mason would know. There's no opponent present between the player and the opposing goalkeeper. The player must be fouled directly from behind. The player must have been deprived of a reasonable scoring opportunity.
I've seen Mason teach this to level 1s, and he's very, very good.
Yep.
Well, he's a good teacher in general, but...
Well, that's what he does for a living, so he better be good at it.
This topic is very good. He's got this one down, so...
Yeah. Brett says, sorry about that. I was walking my little guy to piano. Oh, okay. Well, you're back. We'll wait for your answer, Brett. Okay. William says, got to go. Riot pads are bad luck.
Riot are bad luck. Just like stretching.
You got to keep one in your pocket because, you just never know when you need to take some notes. Doug says, great up. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Doug. Appreciate that. We're just having fun, guys. Honestly, some of this stuff just comes off the top of our heads some days. It really does. If you've got a topic that you want us to cover or, you got some questions, send them to us. Send us an email. We'd love to hear from you guys. especially, if there's a subject or you have a guest that you want to get on. If you know a really high-level coach or a really high-level referee, but, we'd love to have them on the show. So reach out to us, guys. We would be more than happy to entertain any of the ideas that you have for some of this stuff. I think that would be great. And how did my
I don't know. I was going to. I was ignoring
sorry
it.
about that. I don't know what happened there. Let's see if I just bring this back. What happens?
There it was.
Oh, that's weird. My frame got out of size here. So let me fix this. I apologize, guys.
The heck with it.
We're not looking very professional like that. I mean, we do all this work with the graphics, and here we are. Now it's gone all together. So, okay. Somehow it got jacked up. I'll fix it later.
Anyways.
Okay. Well,
Did we get an answer? Did we get an answer yet?
All right. I don't know. Let's see. All right. Brett says, in my opinion, hand closed on puck in crease. P.S. Batted out of the crease, we are okay. Batted out of the crease, yes, because the hand has not covered. It has not been closed. Hand closed on puck in crease. So, do you know the answer? Do you know the official answer to this one, Brad? Like, if the player catches the puck in the crease, is that considered being covered?
He closes his hand on it, you're technically covering it because it's the same thing as being on the goalie's back.
Yep.
You can't pick it up off the ice and throw it.
Okay, but covered, and I guess I should go to a bigger screen so you can actually see what I'm doing here. So give me 1 second here to pull this. All right, we're back to this. It's a little off, but I'll fix it. Covered is, I'm covering the puck. If this is, here's a lens cap. Oh, better yet.
Right.
I got a puck.
Use the puck.
Hey, look at that. Let's see. There you go. State championship puck. So I got a puck. This is, I'm covering the puck. This is, am I covering the puck? And again, I'm not picking the puck up. I'm not in the, I'm not picking it up off the ice. I'm not grabbing it off the ice. The puck is in the air, and I am just putting it down to my stick. I am receiving the puck and putting it down to my stick, but I am in the crease. Maybe I'm the substitute goalie at that point.
Hey,
now if I'm the substitute goalie, does that give me the right to be able to do that? Am I
you
the
mean
substitute temporary goalie?
Temporary. You have goalie
privileges, but do I have to have the goalie gloves on to have those privileges versus being a player? And I kept my defensive gear on. I just have my regular hockey gloves on. Do I get the ability to do that? And the answer, I think you have to change out the gloves, don't you? Oh, I'm probably opening up a can of worms here. I hope we have a few really good experts on.
I'm still waiting for somebody to put. You got 2 no's in there.
All right. So Chris says, never have a riot pad, never will. Well, Chris, to each his own. But I'd encourage you to have at least a pen with you. What do you do if you need to take some notes on a score sheet or something? All right. Technically, yes. Mason says technically, yes. I agree with Mason. No PS for catching on and putting it down. I'm assuming Mason is saying, yeah. Is that official from the book? I feel like you haven't covered the puck in that situation. I think you're just making a hockey play to get it down. That's just my opinion. That might be a good one to actually really get an expert opinion on. Chris says the score.
Well, I pulled up the actual wording from the NHL. I mean, I didn't pull up the actual wording for USA.
What did they say? What did they say?
If a player, when the goalkeeper has been replaced for an extra attacker, falls on the puck, holds the puck, picks up the puck, or gathers the puck into his body or hands from the ice in the goal crease area, the play shall be stopped immediately and a goal shall be awarded.
Okay, so those things, the way that it's worded to me, that doesn't say that I'm
just trying to find the USA one because we didn't talk about this beforehand.
No,
so
we didn't. We didn't.
I didn't pull it up.
I'm putting you on blast here.
Well, I want to give the right wording.
Yep. let's see. Brett says 618A holds
That's what
the puck
I'm
while
looking at
play
right
is
now.
in progress. So, holding the puck to me is, just like we have the whistle. If I catch the puck and I start to skate with it and then I drop it down to my stick, I may be avoiding a player to do that. Then, yeah, of course, that's a whistle. It's not a penalty shot. It's a whistle because I'm not in the crease. But I'm just saying if I'm back there and I make a defensive play of grab and right down to my stick, I don't know. I'm not sure that's penalty shot. I'll be honest. I'm not sure on that one.
How about this? How about we end the show on that note?
What?
And we'll we'll just
What?
we'll see if somebody can. You know what? I think I got one of those hockey ref shot bags laying around, and we'll see if somebody can send in the answer, and I'll send it to them.
I like that idea. Okay, you guys have seen those nice little like shaving kit bags that we have from.
And we'll get
Eric?
it'll get somebody to email me at my refroombrad@gmail.com.
Okay. Yeah, see, Chris says, but 618 doesn't say catching. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree.
Dig into it.
This might be one that we can't really answer. It's going to be a judgment call, I guess. All right.
Dig into it.
And then, let's see, Mason says, the puck must be kept in motion at all times, and play shall not be stopped for a frozen puck other than goalkeeper unless a scramble takes place where a player falls on or is knocked down on the puck. Yeah, I'm not saying that the guy has caught the puck and he's holding it for a whistle. I'm just saying he's back there. Maybe he's the temporary goaltender. Maybe he is the defenseman back there with his regular gloves are on, but he's standing in the crease when the puck comes up in the air, and he's just catching it to put it, like a quick grab to put it down. Just like if you were a defensive player and the puck comes up in the air, you grab it, you put it down. Now, in a lot of cases, defensemen might be catching a puck that's up in the air that's above the crossbar. So we know that's not part of the crease. But in this case, this is like a shot towards the net or a puck projected towards the net. I'm not saying like the guy snipes that you're going to be able to grab it, but, a puck that's been projected towards the net. Could you grab that and put it down? All right, we got another comment from Brett. Brett says, oh, sorry, hit the wrong one there. My bad. Can you catch a puck without holding it or closing your hand on it? Your opinion would only be batting it.
Your option.
Batting to me is I'm knocking it down. That's batting.
Batting is a legal play.
Batting it down would be 100% legal, no question. But I'm catching it to put it down. I hope you guys can see that on the. Sorry, hit the mic.
Somebody,
you guys can see
somebody
that on
will
the
find
camera.
it.
I'm catching it and I'm putting it down. So, all in one motion, just like a legal play. If you were the defenseman, you catch the puck. I'm not trying to skate out with it and then drop it down or whatever, because that certainly wouldn't be a legal play because you'd have the whistle in that situation. All right, we got a couple more. Let's see. I'm going to pass on that, Chris said. Okay. That would be no different than a player quickly covering the puck in the crease and sweeping it out of the crease. Well, if you quickly covered in the crease, have you covered it in the crease?
Yes.
I think that's your answer right there in that situation. So, covering it quickly and moving it out, you've covered it. You've put your hand over the puck. You've physically moved it out of the crease. You've covered it. You don't have to get a whistle to have covered the puck. Am I right, Brad?
I'm sorry. I zoned out. Yeah, I lost you. You were talking. That was all my fault. I went to someplace else. What did you say, Scott?
Okay.
Sorry.
I said, if the puck is down in the crease
and
I put my puck over the puck to push my hand over to push it out, I've covered the puck in the crease. I don't need to secure a whistle to get a penalty shot in this situation. I have now covered the puck in the crease with my hand to move it out. That's a penalty shot.
Correct.
So, you don't have to freeze the puck in the crease to get the penalty shot. You just had to have covered it with your hand and moved it out. So I hope we clarified that.
It's funny because I have pulled up situation 4.
So
and
this is
puck is in the goal crease. A defending player laying on the outside of the crease places his hand on the puck and pulls it out of the crease and into his body, thereby causing a stoppage of play. Does this situation call for a penalty shot? Yes.
Yeah, because
location
the
of the
puck was in the crease.
At the instant it was covered or held is the determining factor of whether or not a penalty shot is to be awarded.
Okay.
Covered or held. So you guys can go mash it around for a little while.
Yeah, Brett loves this. Appreciate that, Brett, because honestly, we talking about a penalty shot, but we didn't talk about some of the stuff that we're covering right now. And some of this stuff is kind of interesting. I mean, it's situations that end up in the manual because you probably won't see them, but maybe once in your career.
Well, so, let's end it on today.
Yeah, but we didn't cover the procedure, so we can end the penalty talk, but let's just cover the procedure real quickly. We got a couple minutes. We'll finish this up. So basically, if you've called the penalty shot, guys, you need to get the other players off the ice. We need to give instructions. So if you're the top official, you're going to be.
Hang on.
Yeah.
We'll
jump in where you want here.
What position? What's
let's talk about the 2-man, because I don't want to do a 3 or 4-man because I think the guys working the 4-man probably know this.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
I'm pretty sure the guys working a 3-man know it, but in a 2 official system, some of the guys may not, because you may be working with a newer official and he may not have had the experience in this situation before. So let's talk about the 2-man system right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You want me to start, or you want to? I can jump in.
I mean, I can start covering it.
Right.
Okay, so we have our penalty. The whistle happens, right? First thing you're going to do, you're going to assess the penalty shot, which is the hands crossed over your head. Kind of looks like you're doing a field goal signal, but that's USA. That's USA hockey. Other places or other things are different, but we'll just stick with USA hockey. Right. After you assess that, you're going to take note of who's supposed to have the shot, okay? Because if it's covered in the crease, any of the players on the ice are eligible to take the shot. If it's the player that was fouled from behind, that's self-explanatory. Make sure and get their number. But also remember, you have to get the number of the player that took the penalty, because you have to record that penalty still on the score sheet. So you're catching 2 numbers at that point. Go over, assess it to the scorekeeper box. Go ask the team if they want the penalty shot or the optional minor. You got to tell the scorekeeper to hold on, because the scorekeeper is going to be really confused at this point. Go ask them if they want the shot. Okay. Your partner at that time should be getting the puck and bringing it to center ice and shushing the players. Shushing. I can't believe I used that word. Gathering the players and getting them to their benches, which they need to be physically in the bench for a penalty shot. Not standing around on the ice or sitting on the boards.
Does the goalie have to come off the ice from the other team?
No.
He can stay in the crease.
That's just to keep the game moving along.
The other players have to come off the ice, so they have to get on their bench, guys.
Yep.
So that's number 1.
And don't let them sit on the boards or anything like that, because that can lead to problems, which I'll get to. So after you establish there's a shot going to be taken, if not, they choose to put the guy in the box. They put the guy in the box, and away we go, 5-on-4. But after we've decided that there's going to be a penalty shot, between you and your partner, technically the way they say it is who assessed the penalty shot will be the one on the goal line. If you and your partner want to do it, and nobody's really going to nitpick you on that, work it out. One of you is at the top, one of you is at the bottom. Explain to the goalkeeper before you get going that they can't leave the crease before the player touches the puck at center ice.
Right.
Because if not, it's a reshot. And it's not an immediate stoppage, by the way. If they touch it, if they haven't touched the puck and the goalie leaves the crease and they come down and they touch it, the goalie's out of the crease, you have a reshot. But you still let that player shoot.
It's basically a 2 for 1.
Because if they score on the first one, you don't have a reshot.
Right.
But if they miss, then they get a second shot. So just remember that. So explain to the goalkeeper, and he has to stop it legally. So you can't take the player down or anything. Just explain it to the goalkeeper, and that it's going to be on whoever's whistle, which it should be the goal line, but whoever's whistle it's going to be. At that time, the top official explains to the player they get one shot only. They have to keep the puck moving forward at all times. Okay?
No rebounds. No rebounds,
right.
guys.
Yeah. So they after the shot starts, the referee, the high referee, the top referee, should follow that player into the ice or into the zone, not on top of them, but casually behind them in order to assess, A, are they skating forwards? But there's another reason. The shot's taken, that referee needs to position themselves in front of the bench of the defending team if they happen to be in that zone. Why? Well, as the guy comes by and he just roofed it on the goalie, he might say something to one of the players that's in the bench. Well, if you're not standing there, you could have an altercation after a penalty shot.
Yeah.
Or one of the players jumps off the bench, or they save it and they have all five of them jump off the bench. And the guy skating by, he's upset as he's going to his bench because he didn't score and he punches somebody's lights out. So you want to make sure that you're positioned there in order that no funky business happens. And the other official then gets the puck. If there's a goal, you're skating at the center ice. If there's not, then you're going to be taking a face-off on which side it should have been.
Right. So whatever
That's
side
it.
they shot from, that's the side you're going to have the face-off from. The other thing that we didn't cover is where should the referee or the official that is down near the goalie, he should be standing on the side of the forehand side of the player that's shooting.
Correct.
Okay? On the forehand side. This is important because, A, you're going to be able to see the puck better, and B, you are not going to be in the way of getting hit with the puck when he releases the shot. You're in a better position.
That's USA hockey. They say to be on that side.
Yeah.
That's not everywhere.
We are talking USA hockey though, so
I agree.
We will.
I'm just pointing it out before somebody puts it in there.
Now, the other thing here's the question that we should cover, and that is if let's say the forehand for the player. Let's say I don't know how to describe this to you guys, but let's say the benches are on the same side as the forehand of the player. Meaning now you're going to have the official that's down at the goal on the side of the bench. You don't need to position the top official across from him because it's better to have an official that's near the bench in that situation during the shot. Am I correct in what I'm saying there, Brad?
I don't know what I think you mean that they can stand both on the same side.
Yes.
You always want to have somebody on the bench side in front of the benches.
That's what
on
I'm
a penalty shot.
That's what I'm getting at.
Right.
Just put somebody on the bench side, guys. So
right.
that you have somebody there, even though the official, the lower official is on the same side as he is in that situation.
You're overthinking. But I get where you're going with it. But there's no real reason for us to be diagonal. You're not watching for any fouls or anything really at that point. Right. It's kind of pretty clear cut. You got one guy, one goalie. He gets one shot. You're not going to get much different from, the two sides. So, yeah, you can always be on your side. Make sure somebody's in front of that bench.
Yeah.
A high guy wants to be in front of the bench.
All right. Mason's got a couple more comments. So let's bring these up real quick. I think I found the answer to Scott's question about the puck being caught in the crease. Okay, cool. Thanks, Mason. Let's see. 67.1, handling puck. A player shall be permitted to stop or bat a puck in the air with his open hand or push it along the ice with his hand, and the play shall not be stopped unless, in the opinion of the referee, he has deliberately directed the puck to a teammate in any zone other than the defending zone. Well, okay, Mason, yes, what you're saying is correct. I just don't think that this would be the situation in the crease. I think that might be the wrong area. What we're talking about here, we've got the handling of the puck, everything that we've said. Yes, you can grab, you can put it down. We agree with all that. The question is what happens if it's in the crease. Now, I don't think where you're reading this, it's stating that this happened in the crease. So this would be covered under penalty shot or no penalty shot, I believe. So we might have to keep looking on that one. I'm not sure that one is the correct. I mean, that's exactly right what you're seeing, but with regard to a penalty shot, I'm not sure. Your thoughts on that, Brad? Do you feel differently than I do about that, or?
That's not the exact answer that you're looking for.
All right. Well, we had some other stuff we wanted to cover, but time went kind of fast. I think we got a pretty good discussion out of this today, guys. So appreciate you guys joining us. We do this every Wednesday at noon. It is the Ref Room. I am Scott Smokin' Sills, along with
email me
good
the
friend,
answer,
Mr. Brad Baumrock. Yeah, send him an email, Brad. Actually, Ref Room Brad. Ref Room Brad. You know, Ref Room ahead of Brad. Ref Room Brad at gmail.com. And, you know, we can look at if we get some answers this week, and if we do get a correct answer, the first one that comes in with the right answer and reference, you'll get a nice little like shaving kit from from Eric.
I think I got one of those still laying around.
Yeah.
So
if
not, I'll hook you up with something. We'll figure something out.
Yeah, we'll get you a whistle.
It's a low budget show. It's a low budget show. I'll send you some beef jerky.
Right. Well, thanks for joining us, everybody. We appreciate your spending your Wednesdays with us. Hope you enjoyed your peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And Frankie has brought her ball, which indicates the show is over. She is.
Okay.
I mean, I know she jumped up a couple times today. She's a little antsy. So anyway.
All right.
So I guess we will start to wind things down a little bit. Anything else you want to cover before we go, Brad?
No.
All right, guys.
I think we got it.
Have a great week. Hockey starts tonight. NHL. Check it out. And and then if you get a chance, get out and observe a scrimmage or a practice somewhere, okay? All right, guys. I'm Scott Smokin' Sills. Have a great day. Peace out, everybody. On behalf of Brad Baumrock, we're out.